Hey everyone, welcome to Enter Shaolin, and right now I have one of my brothers here, Amit, which you probably have seen him in some of our seminar footage and different things like that, and I just wanted to kind of do a checkup on you and see how you've been. So can you just share for those that may be seeing your testimony for the first time a little bit about your prior background in martial arts and how you found Sifu and Enter Shaolin?
I have very little background in martial arts. I did 6 months of wushu back in 2007, and I couldn't continue it for reasons for my job. I changed states and I couldn't continue with the same teacher. But I did that for 6 months, and then after that, in 2000, I started back in 2012. So I got like a few years of break. I did Wing Chun, Wing Chun for 1 year. And then I found out Sifu Phu on YouTube.
Yeah.
And since then, I'm hooked.
You're hooked?
Yeah, I'm hooked.
No going back?
Not going back, no, not going anywhere. So
you've been to some of our Pittsburgh seminars, but this is the first full Enter Shaolin seminar that you've got to attend. Do you like it? Do you like the extra training and stuff like that? Like, what do you like about this versus what you've experienced before?
Yeah, this was a really intense seminar. Like, I'm completely beat. Very tired. I thought I'd be easy. Oh, this Tai Chi is going to be easy.
You're like, psh, right?
Tai Chi, yeah. Just moving up. But when you practice the energy correct, when you do the energy right, it's not easy because you have to make sure your hips are aligned, your knees are aligned, your toes, your ankles are, everything should be in its proper place. Otherwise, the energy cannot come out into the hands.
Right.
And to do that over and over again, it's not easy on the body. But at the same time, it's not, as Sifu said, it's stress, but it's not strain.
Right.
It's a lot of pressure. It's like pushing against a lot of weight, but if you're aligned, you can hold it for a long time. It's just that you're going to be tired at the end of it. So it's not bad pain. It's a good pain.
Yeah. You didn't get to go to the one in Washington, D.C., but most everyone, except for Kevin and I, because we were doing bone conditioning, but everyone else had bruises all over them. So this is definitely, like you said, it's less, it's less intense, but at the same time, it's still very, very intense because you're working your mind because you're learning it for the first time. So you're thinking and you're stinking, just like Sifu says, right? But you're also that repetitive movements that we're doing with the body and stuff. It's surprising how much it wears you down.
Yeah.
So you're going to sleep good tonight, huh?
I'm going to sleep good.
So you train with Sifu Phu, and sometimes you get to train with Sifu Larry as well. But you're also a member to Enter Shaolin.
Right.
And I asked this question because we have a lot of times Sifu Phu students still see the benefit of being a member as well. What would you say is the benefit of training with him personally, as well as having the membership site?
You have something to go back and refer to when you go home, because you cannot make notes when you have a private lesson with him.
Right.
And even though you remember things, unless you repeat them several times exactly the way they're supposed to be done,
which is probably not going to happen.
Which is not going to happen. You don't learn it, and so you might be going to him for years, and you'll still make progress.
Oh, you definitely will.
Accelerate the progress if you have the website,
right?
Because you do a particular lock, and you don't know exactly what he was telling you. You go to Enter Shaolin and look at the video, and you see the whole detail.
And you can rewatch it as many times as you want until you get the point.
Oh no, I see the benefit of Enter Shaolin a lot, because the other thing is, with his regular students, if he's teaching the Tai Chi form, often these students, from what I've seen, they have been learning the form for many years, and they don't get to the end of it because it's such a long form, right?
Right, it's very long, yeah.
And when you have Sifu teach you, he's going to correct every mistake you do.
Yes, he will.
And so it's going to take a long time to finish the first section, second section, third section. But if you're home, at least you can look at the movements.
So you can work on the memorization ahead of time.
Ahead of time. You can work on the memorization ahead of time. And then the only thing that remains is the energy, which you
the sensitivity training.
Yeah, then you can iron it out when you meet him in person.
Right. So it helps you excel, not only because you don't have to remember everything from every lesson, which is practically impossible unless you have a photogenic memory, but for most people, I think it's like 25% of a lesson you actually retain. So by doing that, you're able to retain more because you can watch those videos as much as you want. But then you can also, like you said, if you want to further your training, you can do that in your own time. So
and you can't switch either. Right. You can tell Sifu, I have learned the first section of the Tai Chi form. Now you got to teach me, jump cue from Wing Chun. You can't do that. Because Sifu was like, we were doing Tai Chi.
Right, he's like, nope. But if you have the site, you can go start working on some of the Chumkyul if you want to.
If you want. Right. But then if you have the website, now you can, like, if you feel like you have plateaued, you can look at different videos.
Right, there's so much
out there. So you can kind of find your way ahead through different routes. That's what I do. I feel stuck, I just start learning something else. And then I find my way back into what I was stuck on.
That's actually really great because sometimes people get really frustrated when they're stuck on something, and you have the benefit of going, okay, I'm stuck on that. I'm going to put this away for a little bit. Yeah, let me go try something else and work on that. And then you can come back, and usually by then you have a better understanding of what you were having a problem with.
Exactly.
So that's a great way. You're using it very smart. So I'm very proud to hear how you're using the site. What would you say is a benefit of coming to a seminar?
Coming to a seminar, you feel live energy. Now, you feel Sifu's live energy, you feel Sifu Larry's live energy, and that's all. That's all you pretty much need to get better. So the good thing about the seminar is you will, at least on this one, we did the form and we did a lot of push hands. So when you play hands with different people, you know everybody has a different approach to it. And then if you still feel like you're still stuck, then you can take Sifu on the side and ask Sifu, hey, we did this, but I still feel like I'm stuck.
Right, so you still get that extra help.
You will never ever see Sifu Phu say, hey, I'm not going to show you. Or Sifu Larry say, Sifu Larry say, oh, we are out of time. I've never gotten that response in the past 5-6 years. Sifu's standing right now. Yet. No, but I don't think that will happen.
And do you like be able to just meet the different people? You know, some of them are students of Sifu's, but a lot of them are Enter Shaolin members. Is it cool to be able to just meet all the different people that are part of the site?
Yeah, definitely. You meet a lot of other people, and a lot of people have different ways of learning. Like I have a particular way of approaching it. Sifu Larry has a particular way of approaching it. Other students have different ways of approaching it. And so if you are stuck, you may be stuck just as somebody else was stuck at some point. And so sometimes you may be helped more by another student than you would be by Sifu. It just happens so.
Because they're used to making the mistakes. It's a little bit more fresh, right?
Exactly. And they're like, I struggled with this for 1 year, and this is how I got beyond it.
Right.
And so it sometimes helps you, get somebody else's perspective on it.
Awesome.
So that's how, it's how I did it, at least.
No, I love that. And I noticed that too. Like there's just like everyone's helping each other. And so by the time you get done, you come home and you just know like you've taken so much back with you to just take your skill to the next level.
Right.
Is there anything else that you'd like to share with everyone?
No, just come to these seminars, get on the website. That's all I'd say. It is, I would say this. I have seen, the more I study what Ngo Dac Na is, the more I see its applications in different fields. And I have my uncle who was struggling with his music, and he was struggling with his shoulder. And because he was using his shoulder, and I observed what he was doing, and I told him, I can help you correct it, you just have to trust me on this. And he didn't listen to me for 3 years. But this year he started listening to what I was telling him.
Because it was starting to hurt more and more. He was drumming, right?
So he started doing the wrist exercises, and he was starting to move his hand through the wrist because he plays a percussion instrument, and he has to use his fingers more. But there's no power in his tendons because he has never done any kind of martial arts.
Right.
And he doesn't know how to get power in his tendons. So I showed him how to do that. And so not just that, but even somebody playing football or somebody doing something else.
Anything that's movement. Basically.
Anything that's movement, anything that requires you any physical form of force, energy. There's a wide variety of applications of Ngo Dac Na because it's just pure understanding of pure energy, how it works.
Right, and how your body mechanics work.
Exactly. Even if you're in old age, you have trouble walking or you're injured, it'll help your recovery. Even if you're a student, I would say it'll help you understand how to approach your studies even more, even though that sounds absurd, but it will, because it tells you how to not fight force.
Right.
So you're stuck mentally against something, struggling with psychological problems, struggling with addiction, struggling with anything. You know how to not approach it directly, how to yield to it and go around it. And so I love philosophy, like I love spirituality. I read a lot of books. And so I try to find alignment of what Ngo Dac Na is.
Right, what's on your mind, body, and spirit.
Yeah. Mind, body, and spirit. And I find a lot of parallels between not just the physical movement, but even how our mind works.
Absolutely.
And we want to overcome our problems by fighting them. We want to, if somebody has offended us, we want to aggressively lash back at those people, say something nasty to them. So all that you will understand how to go beyond.
Right, so to go beyond that,
Just by understanding how energy works. because you transform that into the mind, and you realize I'm going to think even this way, not just move my body, but I'm going to start thinking this way. And so it helps me personally grow as a person in all dimensions, not just martial arts, but in every other form.
We've actually had lots of people write into us saying that just training and learning this system has helped them even just like improve their relationships. We had one guy who was on the brink of divorce, and by starting to train and, like you said, applying these principles to his everyday life, not just what he's doing in his martial arts, he was able to save his marriage. So like it's just amazing that to hear other people getting it, like and knowing that it's not just about a fighting system. First, you're fighting yourself, right? You're fighting all your bad habits and bad temperaments and stuff like that, and then you're overcoming them. So it's really cool that you get that.
Yeah, I love a couple of things, if you don't mind. One thing I realized is our mind doesn't obey our commands all the time, and the best way to find out about
it's kind of mind of its own.
It's doing its own thing. The best way to understand that is through the projection of energy. You want your energy to come out here, but you're doing something else. You're pushing your elbow out, and so the more you study that, you realize that, hey, my mind may not be under my control. I'm operating under this illusion that I do everything I want to, but you don't. That's one thing. The
subconscious habits that are
is doing something else. So to gain control of your mind and body together, this will help you.
Absolutely.
And the second thing is, if you have any kind of confidence issues, self-esteem issues, personality issues, that you feel you're not outgoing enough, you don't know how to express yourself enough, you must learn Ngo Dac Na. You must learn the principles of energy. Because I have struggled with this in my life, personally speaking, especially at work. I would be very, very nervous in company of somebody who was like a senior manager or vice president or whatever. And I'd be like, oh, am I going to say something stupid?
So you stress yourself out.
Yeah, stress myself out. Everybody's looking at me, everybody's watching me. I always had that feeling. Not speaking up in a meeting, or not speaking up when you're supposed to speak up. Even when you know you're right, you can't speak up. And so this helped me a lot, in the sense that I started getting more and more control of my body and my mind. And now I realized the change. I wasn't even trying to do it, but I noticed that change, that I feel absolutely no fear.
Just like naturally happens.
Yeah. I just feel no fear, even if my companies, even your companies, whoever, somebody who used to psychologically dominate you. And a lot of people have this. They don't realize it. But they have this dominating friend, or they have this family member who is...
this like really aggressive kind of nature.
Pressurizing them into doing something they don't want. And you'll start realizing that you start exuding a certain power, certain presence. People will look at you and they don't want to bother with you anymore.
Oh no, they won't.
They don't trouble you anymore, and you feel more and more confident.
Because usually those people are just big bullies, just bullies that grew up.
All they have is their issues.
And they can feel if you're intimidated or you're scared or whatever, and then they're going to pick on you. They're not going to pick on that person over there that's confident. So that's really cool that that's able to help you with that.
Right. Let me relax more. You might even get a promotion. You never know. Because your boss will say, hey, you look more confident. You seem like you have more leadership skills. Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's it. I'm done.
That's it?
That's all I have to say.
All right. So thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. And it was good to see you again, Amit.
Yeah, thank you. Glad to be part of it.